A24, an unstoppable powerhouse in the horror genre, who this year provided a release for one of their most successful and impactful films ever. Created by RackaRacka YouTubers, the Philippou twins, Talk to Me has been one of the biggest talking points in the horror community in recent memory. Today I'm going to break down the fear factor, and there will be spoilers ahead. Please check the link below to our second channel, The Horror Exchange, but for now, this is why Talk to Me is nightmare fuel. When I first experienced Talk to Me, I found myself totally gripped by its atmosphere from the very first scene. It's such a great establishing sequence that informs you of the sonically charged brutality to come. In a well-handled sequence, we walk right through a thumping house party with Cole trying to find his brother Duggett. When he finds him, he's acting peculiar and people begin filming. Clearly there's something wrong with Duggett that people are aware of. They want to present their phones to him and record whatever is going to happen. This is our first indication of the theme of viral trends the film has to offer. When Cole urges people to stop filming, he's stabbed by his brother before the knife gets turned the other way. It's a sudden and sharp turn of events in the story here that clearly lets you know that something is going on in this world that is changing people. And on top of that, there's a public awareness of whatever that something is. Cut ahead and we're introduced to our protagonist Mia, played remarkably by Sophie Wilde. She's got such a wide arsenal of expressions in this film, which aided in how invested I became in her. Mia is a character who has been hurt by loss in her life, with her mother killing herself with an overdose of sleeping pills, her father just out of reach being able to help. It's this deep sense of grief in her that has placed one of her feet in the doorway of an outcast. She has close friends who support her, including siblings Jade and Riley, but other people struggle to form attachments with her. It's that awkward middle ground of knowing someone is damaged, but not knowing if keeping a distance or becoming closer is the best option. As it is, Mia is a troubled character with emotional weaknesses, and it's these which carry the weight of the film's narrative progression into some dark territories. Our first indication that Mia has a divisive perspective on life and death is when she encounters an injured kangaroo in the road while driving Riley. The noble thing to do would be to put it out of its misery rather than letting it suffer more, but being the one to sever that connection is something Mia cannot rise to. She doesn't want to be responsible for anyone or anything else's pain because of what she's experienced, and so she sits in the background and allows whatever happens to happen. Again, this is an important thing to note in Mia's character for the film ahead. So what exactly is the horror twist in the film? We've seen the signs that there is something evil afoot, changing how people act with fatal consequences, and established our main character as an emotionally vulnerable person with a mixed bag of people around her. Where does that mixed bag get opened up? At a house party, of course. Where else for a bunch of teens in a horror movie? Usually there's drinks, some party games, and that is the case here. But this party game isn't ordinary whatsoever. Say hello to the hand, which when combined with ritualistic practice can link the user to someone from beyond the grave. This is what has become a viral sensation in this world. People get together at these parties and play with the hand. It's a toy, a hashtag, a trend, despite literally being a key through the doorway of life and death. The nightmare fuel element I find in this plot thread is what it says about our society today. The hand is an extremely powerful, dangerous thing, yet here it is being used in the same fashion as a board game or a challenge. It's the naivety of the teens that makes this work so well on screen because they just want to have a good time. Of course they do, they're kids at a party, and the incredible montage of the gang playing with the hand is edited in such a perfect way where you feel the positive energy. You witness the animalism flowing through everyone having fun together at the expense of lost souls. It almost makes you want to play it yourself, luring you in, baiting you. That's quite the fourth wall breaker, where you go, if this thing existed in real life, you know what, I bet it would be fun. Meddling with the dead should be left well alone, yet Talk to Me's direction alters your perception of where the line is. It's like a modern day reimagining of the Ouija board, people getting together together, having parties, trying to connect with the dead. But where the Ouija board was an invention, the context of Talk to Me has the hand as a very real beast. And I love that. I love how anti-cliché the hand is within the film. Now, of course, it's not totally original, just take my Ouija board example. But in film, we've seen plenty examples of an evil being summoned by some teens with bad consequences, and we've seen many a possession film. So what I mean by anti-cliché is in relation to how the hand is presented to the audience and to the characters. Nobody needs to be overly convinced if the hand actually does possess people or not. From the jump, its powers are accepted. There's no doubt, which sometimes you get in these kinds of films. Is it real? Is it not? We're going to waste 45 minutes of the film trying to find the answer. I also love how we completely dodge the common trope of, let's go find someone who knows what the hand really is, or let's go read a book in the library that explains exactly what it is and how to defeat it. We don't get that. Instead, we get a brief story that the hand belonged to either a medium or a Satanist, and then it was severed and embalmed. That's it. We get a few hints to where it's likely come from, but no definite answer, and it's delivered in one bit of fleeting dialogue. There's no quest for an entire second act of a film to seek out its origins, because the origins don't really matter all that much. What does matter is the hand exists and does have powers. It's just something that exists in the world. Talk to Me doesn't beat around the bush like many horror films do, and that was remarkably refreshing to me. Plus, it added some more nightmare fuel to the fire, because it keeps the hand a mysterious entity that's almost impossible to defeat due to how little is actually known about it other than what it does. What it does, I think, is so simple yet so frighteningly brilliant by horror standards. Whenever you connect to a spirit, only the user can see them, so the rest of the room isn't aware of who is on the other end. It could be anyone, so if you're a witness, you have nothing to go off other than how the host is impacted. Then, from the host's point of view, it's a different spirit every time. I love that too. It doesn't create one sole evil presence who must be defeated. It could be anyone. They could be friendly, they could be hostile. It's a lottery. Things go from bad to worse with the hand, however, when some problems occur with the timing. First, you hold the hand and say, "Talk to me," to summon a spirit. Then you say, "I let you in," to invite the spirit to possess you. If you stay connected to the spirit for longer than 90 seconds, they want to stay. 90 seconds isn't a particularly long time at all, especially when your audience wants to see as much as they can for the viral sensation, and then having that timer adds pressure. Plus, it may be a powerful spirit that won't let go easily. Such is the case with Mia. Her time runs slightly over, so there are already warning signs that the kids should put some additional measures in place to ensure the connection can be severed on time. This isn't the case. The games continue just as casually as they did before. They ignore the close calls because they made it to the other side. But the ignorance for safety gets worse as Mia's emotions are exploited once more. She finds the experience of the hand amazing. It brings her closer to that barrier between life and death, blending her perspective into something more positive than she felt before. Consequently, when young Riley wants to go at the hand and his sister's not in the room, not only does Mia allow this, but her decision nearly winds up killing him. This happens in the expertly executed scene where Riley is possessed by Mia's dead mother, and even though the group has agreed a 50-second time limit instead of the 90, Mia refuses to let her mother go. Then something else takes over, making Riley smash his head multiple times and nearly rip his own eye out. It's horrifically gruesome to watch. The practical effects are disgusting, and it's truly shocking to see this happen to such a young lad. But it all happens because of Mia's naivety and her aforementioned emotional vulnerabilities. Her grief was tapped into and exploited, and it nearly killed someone close to her. The nightmare fuel I find in this, however, is asking the question, was that exploitation intentional? At this point in the film, so far as we know, the hand conjures a spirit at random. So was this simply wrong spirit, wrong time? Or are the rules of the hand not fixed, so that what actually happens here is Mia's mother reaches out and attaches herself? Even still, when the damage is done, what causes that? Is it the mother turned bad? Is it another more powerful spirit who takes her place? Or was it even Mia's mother to begin with? Could it have been an evil spirit pretending to be the mother in an attempt to stay attached for longer than the 90 seconds? These are all questions I had at this point of the film on my first watch, and it's that uncertainty I found fascinatingly nightmarish, and that level of uncertainty continues throughout the film. Plus, Mia becomes a scapegoat. She is blamed by Jade for allowing Riley access to the hand, and Riley's mother berates her. From the afterlife side of the equation, something attaches itself to Mia and makes her see the world differently, including seeing a spirit sucking on Daniel's foot, but actually it's her. Later, an evil version of Mia's dad tries to attack her, and when Mia fights back, she kills her real dad by accident. The after effects of the hand create a world of illusions, so while watching, it's hard to tell where that life and death line is once again. Talk to Me constantly blurs life and the afterlife, with the hand being the link between, and the film's direction being the shifting force. Riley is on the verge of collapse, again smashing his head in further horrific scenes, and it falls to Mia wanting to save him from whatever has a hold of him. We get a small glimpse of Riley's spirit stuck in a kind of purgatory, engulfed in mangled flesh, which is a bloody hellish visual. This is the place Riley needs to be saved from, and Mia is told by her mother that the only way he can be freed is for him to die. But when it comes to Mia attempting to push him into traffic, her mother's spirit reveals herself as being malevolent. This confirmed one of my earlier suspicions, that she was never really the mother, instead trying to break free from the afterlife via emotional manipulation. But even though Mia realizes this and doesn't put Riley in any more danger, she winds up getting hit by a car herself, mimicking the kangaroo that she saw earlier in the film, which now is signposted foreshadowing, and so begins the most exhilarating scene in the film for me. In a superb turn of events, we actually get to see what spirits see on the other side of the ritual, and Christ, is it terrifying. As far as we can tell, you're left to aimlessly roam in darkness, alone for eternity, until someone lights a candle and opens up a doorway, and then when you connect through, someone can let you in. Seeing this perspective shift was adrenaline pumping, in all honesty, but the thought of being contained in a conscious emptiness is terrible. No wonder spirits become manipulative to try and escape this. What a climax to a very solid entry by A24. In terms of nightmare fuel, it reflects on how far our usage of social media may go, how close to danger we are willing to get for clicks and a laugh, but ties it all together with some disturbing imagery, disturbing central premise, and some disturbing heart-pounding moments. All of this combined led to Talk to Me not only leaving an impression on the genre, but it's landed on our Nightmare Fuel Hall of Fame. Let us know if you think it belongs there or not, and until next time, I've been Connor from Unleash the Ghouls. Chuck us a subscribe if you haven't already. Go on, I let you in. I'll see you soon on the other side with another dose of Nightmare Fuel.